Let's do this. Coach Kyle Cefalo, it's not hard to call you offensive coordinator because you were offensive coordinator, co-offensive coordinator last year. So let's start with that, just how your role changes or evolves this year compared to what you were doing last year.
Yeah, obviously, on game day, I'll be the one calling the plays, and we work really, really well collectively as an offensive staff, and that's not going to change when it comes to game plan and install and watching practice film. But now I'm in a position where maybe I have to make a decision, a final call, or something like that. So the role itself is the preparation is going to be very, very similar. It's just when things get down to business and we got to make some final decisions, and with the help of my staff and Coach Bass and all those guys around me, we'll work together. But if I need to make a call, I will. And then speaking to the offense, that's collectively a little bit more. And that's kind of what I'm most excited about, is being involved with not just the wideouts now, but with the quarterbacks and the O-line, the running backs, the tight end, just all these great kids that I've known for 3 years, that now I get a chance just to connect with them on even a better level. So I'm really excited about that.
So how did last year kind of prepare you for this expanded role this season?
Yeah, so we were all very involved in the game planning process, but I wasn't the one making the final call, and I wasn't the one calling the plays on game day, but I was up in the box on game day, and I was training my eyes and trying to give really, really good information to the sideline and different things like that. So definitely took on a little bit more last year, and I felt like that just kind of even reassured myself that I'm ready to be a coordinator. I'm ready to run it. I'm ready to do it. And crazy circumstances got us to this point, but I feel like I'm ready and I'm prepared, and I have an incredible group around me, and that's the most important thing.
So Cooper Bassett gets elevated a little bit. So what will be his role working with you as determining what happens on game day and even leading up to it?
Yeah, his voice is very strong and very well heard, and the one thing is he knows I couldn't do this without him. And we were graduate assistants together in 2016 at the University of Maryland, and I was the quarterback's GA and he was the O-line GA, and now I'm the offensive coordinator and he's the co-offensive coordinator and the O-line coach. It's pretty cool for us to be here. We work very well together. We can speak freely with one another, and I think we see the game. We see our offense, and we see what we're trying to get done. We're on the same page, and just how everything works together. Everything's tied together, and like I said, I trust him. I trust his opinion. I know we value one another's opinion, and we're gonna continue to work very well together. So it couldn't be a better situation for the both of us.
Will there be many differences in the offense this year? I know Coach Anderson took a larger role in calling plays the last few seasons, but what you learned from him, will that continue on? I know personnel kind of dictates some of that, but how much of what we saw last year offensively will continue this year, or will there be any significant changes?
Yeah, I think, obviously what we've done in the past, I've been involved with that, and it's what I know and it's what I've learned. But, at the end of the day now, if I'm the one calling the play, making that decision, I might have to put my taste on things and different things like that. It might look a little different. It might not look different. But there's definitely going to be some things that we've been working on as a staff, really since the winter and until this point, of improvements we wanted to make. And you go back to last year and we had a lot of success, but there's still tons of room for improvement. And we want to keep up and stay evolving with offense and not just kind of sit still. We want to always constantly be moving forward. And I think we got there, in the spring, coming out of spring ball. We all felt incredible about it with the pieces that we have, and now going into fall camp, we're just going to take that momentum we built in the spring, and we're just going to keep getting better at what we do. So it's still going to be up pace, fast and fun, but I'm very, very excited with where we're at on offense right now.
You've got experienced, skilled players all over on that offense, between the offense, even with the offensive line. It's a new quarterback, but he's very skilled, very experienced. Is it, I don't want to call it an embarrassment of riches, but you've got a lot of options available to you when you're calling plays.
Yeah, that's probably the coolest part about this whole deal, and it's kind of I think it's gotten lost a little bit recently, is just, let's talk about the kids that have chosen to stay here. And we've had a lot of kids that had plenty of opportunities not to be here anymore, and they've constantly chosen to stay. And Jalen Royals and Brock Lane and Roswell Faison and Robert Briggs, Pule and Cole and Wyatt, all these guys that we have, coming back on offense, and they chose to be here, and they know they're playing for one another. But very, very excited, as we're moving forward and just seeing all the different weapons that we have and quarterbacks that are going to make incredible decisions and being very confident in their abilities. I'm very, very excited. There's a lot of work to do. We haven't even started day one yet. I'm very, very eager just to get to practice. I just want to get to football. July was a very, very difficult month for a lot of us. But you know what? These kids are still here, and it's all about them. It is all about these football players that have chosen to stay at Utah State. And myself and the staff, we're so lucky that we get to coach them and still get to coach them. So I just can't wait for period one tomorrow of our first practice.
We could go on and on about individual players on the offense, but I think we have to talk at least about Jalen Royals. Continues to be on a lot of different watch lists, deservedly. But what have you seen in his growth, and what can we expect to see out of him this year as already a high performer for USU?
No, very excited, obviously. It really, for me, with Jay, goes back to really, 2 springs ago. He had his first year here, played a little bit, not a lot. But then coming out of that spring, I saw a different player. I saw a mature, confident football player. Jay's always had the athletic ability. That was obvious. That's why he's here. But coming out of that first spring where he really took ownership in his role and he wanted to be the guy, and I was like, we were all as a staff were like, wow, like that, there could be something there. So then we go through summer, and then obviously last season, it was a confident football player on the field, and he knew what to do. He puts in the time, he puts in the effort in the classroom, watching film and things like that. So he loves football. Jalen is a football guy, and his family, I know his dad really well. They are football people. They love football. So Jay is very in tune with learning about the game. He wants to watch film. He wants to understand what the defense is trying to do, and he wants to understand how he can be better. And that's the thing is there's still things with Jalen that we're working on with the whole room. But Jalen himself he's very talented. He's got to have a lot of opportunities ahead of him, but he's very grounded. He's very humble, and he knows he still needs to work in order for him to get to where he wants to, and in order for this football team and this offense to be where we want it to be, Jalen Royals is a massive part of that. So, but couldn't be more proud of him. Incredible kid that's still here with us, and just so excited for him and his teammates just to finally get an opportunity just to cut it loose one more time together. And it's a very senior driven offense especially, and a lot of guys that have a lot to play for this year. So, but very proud of Jay, and just so excited for what he's got in front of him right now.
For 6 months, you were coaching, well, for a couple of months really, you were coaching against Nate Dreiling to some degree, going against his defense. What have you observed of his approach to defense, and now he's being elevated as a head coach? Certainly that's still to be determined, but just in your few months working with him and watching what he was trying to accomplish with the defense, what were your observations from being on the other side?
Yeah, I think the first thing, for us is, as coaches, we work together, and we're in the building a lot together. So I know when Coach Dreiling and his staff were here, just how well we all got along with each other. Just the environment inside the building was very fun. It was very a bunch of people working really hard, but very, very good energy, and it was, really, really nice culture. And obviously Coach Dreiling and his new staff brought that with them as well. So it was very, very, very refreshing for us. And then on the football field, he's a kind of a no-nonsense, very confident, wants the guys to play hard, building incredible relationships with their players, their new players on defense. And then they're all just really good teachers. And that's the one thing that I think as a football coach is they're out there teaching the game of football. They're teaching the fundamentals, and the kids are responding. And they're tough on them. They're hard on them. But you can tell how much fun they're all having as well. And so just been super, super happy to get the opportunity to work with these guys. And now obviously Coach Dreiling's in, same role, but a little bit different now. And, whatever he needs, whatever he wants, that's our job as assistants to help out as much as we can. But just very excited to continuously, work together with that new staff and work for him. Kind of a whatever it takes mentality. I've been here for a little bit, but most importantly, these kids are still here, and that's who we coach for. That's who we work for. We work for these players, and I'm I'm super excited, and Coach Dryling's handled this situation incredibly well, and I'm excited to continuously get to know him and continuously work for him.
Last question for me. I know I want to just talk about Jalen, but I think I do have to ask you about Spencer too, Petrus, and just watching him in spring kind of take that mantle of being QB1 just because of his skill and his ability to lead the offense. What have you seen out of him as a leader besides being a very skilled quarterback to help as a newcomer coming in and already establishing himself in that way?
Yeah, I think that's the most important thing too. Is anyone can show up to practice and see Spencer throw a football, and well, that looks pretty good. But it's the other things that he does, and especially for being a new kid that just kind of showed up. He has a wealth of experience, and he's played a lot of football. But just the way he was able to grasp the offense and then kind of gain control and command of the offense, and the way the other players, they do. I think a lot of people do look up to him, and he communicates really well. He's very consistent. He backs it up with his work ethic and the preparation that he has put in. But and from my standpoint as a coach, I feel like I work with Spencer. I feel like we are working together on this whole deal, which is so much fun. He's he likes to give information. He likes to give feedback. If he doesn't understand something, he wants us to teach it to him again. He's got ideas, different things like that. And he's very coachable at the same time. And, and he was learning a lot too this spring. And we were throwing a lot at him. It was a little different than what he's done in the past, but handled it all really well. And he worked really hard, come back from injury to have this opportunity that he has. And super excited, like I said, to continuously work with him and just this whole offense in general. Like I said, these kids, the ones that have been here for a while, the new kids that have shown up, I love the culture that we have. I love the attitudes that show up every day. And I think they all play for one another, and that's the most important thing. But Spencer's done a phenomenal job kind of stepping into that role, and his voice is strong, and his work ethic is strong as well. So very, very excited for Spencer.
Very cool. Kyle Cefalo, thank you so much.
Thank you guys so much. Appreciate it.